Hello, Black Girl Book Club podcast. Woo! Y'all, what's up, everybody? So, y'all just got me tonight. There's no Patrice, and we are talking about the power of the V. Is this a V? Is this a V? What's up, y'all? How is everybody doing? Who in here already? Let me hear record right quick. I was just talking and the thing was silent. So I'm going to get started so that I make sure that I have enough time to talk about everything and just get all of this in. Yes, I am chilling. Y'all see me chilling with the power of the V behind me. Woo woo. So like I said, it's just me tonight. So I am your host of the Black Girl Book Club podcast. The Black Girl Book Club podcast. The Black Girl Book Club podcast. Hey! And I did not tell y'all who I was. I'm Shapana, and I'm your host of the Black Girl Book Club podcast. What's up, y'all? So tonight we are talking about The Power of the V by Takerra Allen. Power of the V is, I read this book probably at least 4 or 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was out back then. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. I read this the first time. And I think during that time, I was just like on a Takerra Allen high because I was just reading book after book after book after book. And this was one of the books in that rotation. And it was so good. Like all of her books are, but it was a lot going on in this book. She gave some different dynamics to not stuff that you was like all the way used to seeing in the books or whatever. So we're going to answer some of the questions that she had in the books tonight. So that's going to be good when we go through it and talk about it or whatever. So who was your favorite Belle sister? And you can include the mama. She can be an honorary person if y'all want her to be. Who was your favorite Belle sister from The Power of the V? I would have to say first would be Vicky. And I know we didn't get Ronnie for very long, but Ronnie was cool too. She wasn't my favorite. I would say Vicky, then the mama, then Val, then Ronnie, or whatever. What did y'all think about them? Just as a whole, as a family. How did y'all feel about the Bell sisters? Who is this in the comments? So who's read this book? Like I said, I read it a long time ago, the first time. I just reread it, and that's why I wanted to talk about it tonight because we've never talked about it on the podcast. But I read it years and years ago. But I know not everyone has read her entire catalog. I know Tara just read it recently, like within the last 6 months. I don't know if it was been this year, but I know it was recent. And my daughter read it because she was looking for something good to read. And this was something out of Takerra Allen's catalog that she hadn't read. So I recommended that. And that's kind of what drew me to it because it was like two people in close proximity had read it. So I was like, I think that's a sign that I need to be reading it again. So who's read it? Who has not read this book? I'm going to have to say that I read it like 4 or 5 years ago or a long time ago. And when I read it this time, I think that I am maturing, y'all, when it comes to these books. I really do. And I'm not sure how I feel about it because the things that I felt and the things that I liked about certain things and individuals in the book, I'm not sure if I was feeling it this time around. Like Lonzo, like he kind of was rubbing me the wrong way, and I don't know how. I think y'all coming, but I can't see him. I don't know why. Hold on, let me see. I hope I don't mess nothing up. So yeah. So, okay, I see y'all. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jennifer, girl, you on time tonight? You read it last year. Okay, so let's get into the book. So, first of all, I asked who read it and how did y'all feel about the sisters, the family, I guess you should say, as a whole, and who was your favorite sister? So, I liked her title and how it played into the story. The name of the book is Power of the V, and all of the girls, including the mom, had a V for their first name started with a V. So it was like they were all powerful, you know, as their namesake. And then when you think power of the V, you think power of the vagina. So let's get into it. So the book starts off with Trent and Lonzo hanging out outside. They were D boys. Um, and they're young. They like 15, maybe 16, maybe 17, but they teenagers. Verna did the best she could with them sisters. So are you saying that the sisters wasn't good? So anywho, so they outside, they doing their thing, they hustling or whatever, and they see this beautiful girl walking down the street. And when I think of Val, I think of Holly Berry because it was like she was the most beautiful, gorgeous girl you've ever seen, ever in life. Like if you saw her as a man, you wanted her shoes, even as a woman, if you was rolling with Ronnie. So you wanted her if you saw her, right? So tell me what y'all think. What was y'all character inspiration? Where's Celeste at? Hey, Hattie. Hey, how you doing, girl? Have you read Power of the V? Okay, so she walking down the street. She's the same age as the boys or whatever, and they looking at her like, damn, there goes Val. She looking so good. She always looking good or whatever. And they're both like intrigued by her and they want her. They both want her. And Lonzo, like, she don't be giving nobody the time of day. So I'm not even gonna waste my time running up on her. I didn't already try. She didn't hurt my lip. Maybe no, I don't think he had tried. He just knew not to approach her because she was not the approachable type girl. Everybody wanted her. So she was tired of it. She was over it. She was like, okay, people tell me I'm beautiful, pretty every single day. I'm just trying to get through school. She was very smart, book smart. She was into her books. She just wanted to go to college and graduate from college so that she can get out the hood because they lived in the hood or whatever. So Alonzo was like, I'm not even gonna press my luck, but his friend Trent, which the first time I read this, I really liked Trent. This time, not so much. So Trent, he kind of like a bad boy or whatever, chocolate braids to the back. This was probably like late 90s, early 2000s. And so he actually approaches her. He literally had to run her down to get her attention. And so he like, "What's up, Val? You know, I'm trying to talk to you. I can't tell y'all exactly what he says." Trent was something else, yeah. He was something else. He had a way with words, he was slick with it, you know, and all those things. And so she was like, Trent, I'm not messing with you. I think she kind of liked Trent, but she knew that he was a man whore or a boy whore. And so she was like, I'm not fooling with you. I'm not fooling with nobody. All I'm worried about is my books right now. And I'm definitely not going to give you the time of day because I already know how you get down. So he talked to her all the way till he walked her home. And when she got home, they stood outside or whatever, and she turned him down, basically, like, boy, I ain't got time for you. So she turns around, she goes in the house, and Trent, like, I'm tired of her ass. Hey, Anita, girl. She was like, Trent was like, I'm tired of her ass. I'm not, gonna mess with her no more. So he turned around. He was like, I'm just gonna cut my losses. That's my last time trying to holler at her because he had tried to holler at her before. Before he can get across the street from their house, a little girl runs outside and she was like, "Hey, Trent," or whatever. And this is Vicky. She's like maybe 3 years younger than them. And so she liked Trent. Trent trying to get with Val, which is Vicky's sister, and Vicky like Trent. And she like, he like, look, girl, would you gone somewhere? Do y'all know this little baby and reached up and kissed this boy? He was like, what? Oh, and he was like, she hot in the fast. You know how they would call it girls fast. She was a little fast. And after she did that, she ended up telling him, like, I'ma save it for you. And he was like, what? Meaning she was gonna save her virginity for him. And so that's how the book started. And so with that being said, what I get from this family, the father had passed away, right? And so it's the mom and these three girls, and the mom is doing the best that she can, trying to raise her daughters on the right path. She ain't with all that y'all hanging out outside. Girl, yes, she ain't with, they can't hang out outside. She was strict. They had to hold themselves to a high standard. They had to look and dress a certain way. Like Verna, they mama, she didn't play that. She was raising her daughters right, and I guess whatever that means. So that's the impression that I got. I know people like that I grew up with, whose parents were into the church or their moms was into the church, raising them as a single parent, trying to raise good, law abiding, upstanding citizens. And so that's who it is. So you have Vicky, who by the beginning of the book, you like, what the hell this little girl on? Val stuck up. Or did y'all think Val as stuck up, or did y'all think of her as having high standards? Right? And so you got Val, and then you have Ronnie. And at this time, at the beginning of the book, Ronnie is the baby. She a little chunky little baby or whatever. So those are the three sisters, and then their mom is Verna. So that's how the book starts. So fast forward, and you get a scene where, remember, little Vicky put her Mac down on Trent. They bumping and grinding. So let's say it's like 10 years later, baby, they getting it on or trying to get it on, and then they have all of these kids bust in the room. And so Vicky and Trent are married, child. She got her man. She said, I'm gonna say this for you, baby. And that's exactly what she did. And she got her man. Not only did she get her man, but he put a ring on it, and this is her husband. Stuck up in the beginning. Uh-huh. And this is her husband now. Okay, whatever. So they have three daughters, Trent and Vicky. They got three daughters. Gosh, I can't remember. The only one that I know is the little baby that was mute. And y'all know why I know that. Because her little story. One of them, they was all teased after Trent. And so I think it was like, say they named y'all Tally to Trixie, Talia, and Triana. Right, Triana was the girl who did not talk. Their little baby that didn't talk. Was she the oldest, or Trixie was the oldest? Trixie was something else, baby. Trixie lived up to her name. She had a smart little mouth and everything. Talia, and then you had Triana, and Triana did not talk, and the doctors didn't know why she didn't talk. She didn't have any birth defects or anything like that, and she just didn't talk. She was mute. But of course, those things happened, and they loved on her and treated her just like the rest of their kids or whatever. So that's Vicky and Trent. Now they together. Trent is like, of course, they started off as little D boys on the corner back in the day. Now he's like, hey, mom. Now he's like the man, right? So he got all the money. He like the man on with the plan. So if they met early, like back when the book first started, let's say they was like 15. So now they like 25, 26, around up in there. So that's how old they are. Vicky is younger, of course. And so that is Vicky and Trent. And then you have Val. Y'all remember Val was stuck up. And she was, walking with her head, nose in the air, all that back in the day. Now she is successful. She fulfilled her dream. She did everything that she wanted to do. She not a lawyer. Does she work for a marketing company? I'm reading another book right now, and the lady is a lawyer, but I know she not a lawyer. Is Val a lawyer? So Val is in a high power position, and she is married. And what's her husband name, y'all? Don't judge me. But Val is married, but all her sugar then turned to shit. And she is now Braxton. I wanted to call him Bryson, but see, that's in another book. Val got a husband, Braxton. Braxton is the worst person on the planet. And we all should have known that he had some other stuff going on from the beginning of the book because he just got on my last nerve. What? Listen, I ain't gonna put that on myself, but the way that man was acting, I can understand why Val was popping them pills. Now you'd have just told the story, Ern. After, yeah. But okay, so, based on what I just said, did you know that? Just like from our first encounters with him in the beginning, like when he's first introduced in the story, did you get that sense, or was that a surprise to you? Once we found out or whatever, right? So boom, so Braxton is getting on Val last nerve. She done climbed up the corporate ladder. She done graduated from college. She did everything that she wanted to do. But Val got a drug problem. She is popping pills, y'all. For real. She is popping the pills. And so Braxton is driving her up the wall. Oh, I know why she popping the pills. Oh my God, that was so sad. So Val is not fulfilled in her marriage. She's sad. Her husband is not sexing her right. I know he's not sexing her at all. Because Braxton got some other stuff going on. I knew something was off with him too. I thought he was like abusive and like just in which he was verbally abusive towards her. But Val got some heavy stuff on her heart, and that's why she is a pill popper. So Val's story is she had a baby. She had the baby, did a full-term pregnancy, had her baby, and suffocated the baby. She let the baby go to sleep with her. Hey, Samaj girl. She let the baby go to sleep with her, and she rolled over on the baby. Lord, rest in peace to the little baby. And so she rolled over on her baby. So that's weighing on her. And she hasn't for Venus. And she hasn't forgiven herself for that. And that's why she popping these pills. The husband is no help to her. He act like Venus never even happened. And he is a little bit critical of her for that or whatever, and he just kind of act like it didn't happen, and she's still suffering in silence, and that's why she popping these pills. You would be a drug addict too. Listen, I wasn't judging her. So she popping these pills. So Val, that's her life, and then little Ronnie is gay. And so she is a stud. So she like a man. Ronnie is. And so that's their dynamic. Trent and Vicky is married. Val is married to Braxton, who got on her last damn nerve. I don't know what kind of relationship they got, but it ain't a good one. It's not a healthy one. Then you have Ronnie, who is a stud. So that's that. So then remember you got Trent, but then he had that friend Alonzo. He act like, do you think that he hated her? Well, I know why he did. And do you think it had anything to do with the baby, or do you think it was because of his lifestyle, Dominique? So, um, then remember Trent had that friend Lonzo, or whatever. So Lonzo is Trent's friend. Hold on, y'all. Let me get my charger. Lonzo is Trent's friend, and he like a friend of the family. They all grew up together in the same neighborhood and everything. And so Lonzo is in the picture as well. Remember, Lonzo was the one was like, I'm not even gonna be fooling with Vicky because she's not gonna turn me down no more. So he just minded his business. But they all grew up together. They all grew up in the same hood or whatever. So Lonzo got a girlfriend, Quisha. I think that was her name, and he has a son. His lifestyle. Okay, so and then he has a son. What's his son name, y'all? I swear I just read this book. Um, so the son was named after the mama. Her name was Quisha, and I can't remember his name. So he has a family, basically. He got a woman and he got a son. Again, the first time I read this, Lonzo was that nigga. Oh, he was like the big man. But this time I read it, I wasn't really feeling him like that because like he did a straight 180 is what it's called because he turned on Quisha and I guess the way she painted it in the book you could kind of understand it. Okay, because I didn't read it, but I will. Okay. So boom. So Lonzo is head honcho in the drug game, him and Trent. Trent is kind of like Quishan. So Trent is kind of like, up under, let's say Lonzo is the lieutenant, Trent is his second in command or whatever. So he like the big man and he's getting older. They are, they didn't grew up, whatever. They'd have been doing this for a long time and he ready to get out, basically. The girlfriend is kind of like a hood chick. She glad they in the game and she has no aspirations. She good with him making all the money, her staying at home. And he's looking at her like he wants her to do more. He wants her to be better. He's telling her she should go to school. Think Ghost and 50 Cent show. So Quisha is like Tasha. She glad she got the head honcho drug dealer man, and that's all she want out of life. She don't want nothing else. She happy with their life, and he looking at her like you need to be trying to do something better. He had told her she need to go to school because he like, what if something happens to me? What if my empire fall? What you gonna have to fall back on or whatever, right? But he's still with her, and he still want her, and he still like her until until Lil Val stepped in. Okay, that's how I feel about it now. First time I was like, when I first read it the first time, I was like, okay, I understood where he was coming from, but now I'm like, nah, you was cool with her until you got Lil Val over her, right? So the mom have this thing on Sundays where she get the family together, think soul food. The family come together, they play games, play cards or whatever. Vicky and Val kind of get into it and have words at this point. You got to read the book if you want to know exactly what was said. But it kind of led us into like their family dynamic. They sisters. They argue. Then it was like they was back lovey-dovey again. Like we can argue, but you better not never fuck with my sister or it's gonna be on like that or whatever, right? And Braxton didn't come. Braxton spent a lot of time away from home. This is Val's husband and stuff like that. He's not, he don't really come around her family or nothing like that. So that's the dynamic. That's where everybody is at in the story, right? So remember, everybody wanted Val when they was younger, right? So of course, Lonzo and Trent still like they see her, they like, man, she's still fine. How she getting even finer as she getting older. They don't know she a pillhead or whatever, and she dealing with this husband over here who's basically verbally abusing her and stuff. So they still looking at her in high regard, right? So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit so we can get through all of this and so we can get to the juicy stuff. So the first thing that happens is Trent has to leave because the family, and I'm putting it in quotation marks, the family that they work with, that they get their drugs and stuff from, is saying that they need the head man, Junior, I think it's his name, is saying that he needs to talk to Trent. But this message is coming from a woman named Gianna. So the messaging is coming from Gianna. Gianna, like, Uncle Junior need to talk to you. You need to come right now. And Trent, like, I'm with my family. Like, it's family day. I can't come or whatever. She was like, he said he needs you to come right now. It's important. So he go over to this house and he gets to the house and he like, where Junior at? And the girl like, he on his way. So he like, I hope you ain't playing with me or whatever. They kind of have some words back and forth. And then this little boy runs over to meet Trent and he calls him Daddy. was like, oh my God. So Vicky then spent her whole life basically loving this man. She done gave him 3 daughters. She's in love with him. You would think that he was in love with her, all this and that. And he got another baby by another woman across town with the Bino family or whatever. I was like, oh my God. And like if you know Vicky, she be knocking people over the damn head. She do not play around. When her right, when her and Trent was younger, remember she was too young to mess with him, but so she couldn't mess with him. But anybody else that mess she used to beat the girls up. She would beat the girls up who liked Trent until she was old enough to mess with him. She was crazy. So I'm like, not doing this on Vicky because Vicky seemed like she ready to go at any time, right? Not only did he cheat on her, he got a whole freaking baby on this girl that she don't know about. Oh my God, y'all, that was so good. So Trent, what happened was I still don't like Trent. Are you ready? So what happened was Trent and Vicky had broke up one time and he slept with Gianna, and she got pregnant and she had the baby. The the caveat to this is Trent is, she is from the family, the Italians. And so they don't mix and match with the black people. Okay. You will get killed for messing with a black person in that way. You can do business with them, but you can't be sleeping in and creating families with them and stuff like that. So when she got pregnant, she could not tell her uncle who raised her that the baby was by Trent. So if the uncle find out that Trent is this boy's father, he's going to kill him, right? And her. That's how serious this is. Is this true, y'all? Think so. I've seen this on TV before, I think. Like they don't play about that type of stuff. So they cannot tell the uncle. So she can't tell her uncle that Trent is the baby daddy, and he can't tell Vicky that he is baby daddy. Did anybody feel bad for the son? Because he was a mess. I want to know what he's doing to this day. He ain't been in no other books, have he? Because I'm sure he is running a dang on muck. Okay. So a lot happened in this book, y'all. So that's one part of the book. As far as him coming over to meet with the uncle to talk business, she was lying because she wanted to see him and she wanted the son to see him. The son knows that that's his father, but the son also knows that he could never say that out loud to the public because he knows he's been told that if Uncle Uncle Junior find out, he gonna kill your daddy. So imagine being a little kid, knowing it's your father, looking up to your father, wanting to have your father in your life, and you know that basically it's bad that you were born. Yes. And that little boy was giving them the business. Okay, boom. So that's that story. So that was like a really good part. And that get even juicier. So now he go back home and Vicky tripping. Oh my God, y'all. I don't even know if I want to talk about this because this was very traumatic. Okay. So, but I understand why these kinds of stories are told because these are things that happen. It happens. I'm sure she knows somebody that this happened to, and that's why she put it in a story. So while Trent is gone over here trying to meet with Uncle Junior because old girl is lying, family having a good time. They're playing cards. They having a weekly family time or whatever, right? House full of people. One of the people that's in the house is someone that works for Trent and Lonzo. So his name is Duncan. And he okay, so let's say Lonzo is the lieutenant, then you got Trent, that's his right hand, and then then Duncan is like the third person in charge. He handled like the street people or whatever. I read too many damn books. Now that I know the lineup. So boom. So that's who Duncan is. So Duncan is in this house, right? They're thinking that he is a family friend. He is, I'm not gonna say they know that he's somebody they can trust, but they know that he know not to mess around with their families because they don't play that, right? Or so they think. So Duncan is a monster, basically. And remember, we talked about the little girl who was mute. The reason that she is mute is because he was molesting her. And it's very graphic in the book. So if you haven't read the book and you want to read it, be warned. But yes, and she is like a little baby, like 5, 6, 7 years old. You cry, girl. It was so, 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 so sad. I didn't read it this time. The first time I didn't know, so I read it. And I like I said, I understand why she put these stories, and she even made a mention of it. Like, I didn't want to do it, but I did it because we need to know that we need to watch our kids and they just can't be around anybody, even if you feel like you can trust them, even if you feel like this is a family friend, even, all that stuff, it don't matter. Yes, I only read that part once. So I didn't read it again this time around. So boom. So that's what's going on with that. And so while he out over here dealing with the Gianna and Lil Bad Bad, that's why I'm calling little boy, because little boy was cussing people out and fighting and all kind of stuff, which I understood where he was coming from. And Vicky having fun with her family, the little girl is being violated in the house, under the roof, with the family, with everybody in there. Let you know that he is just sick in the head, right? All the time, right? So boom, so that's what Vicky and Trent got going on. So then you got Val and her husband. She popping pills. She was 2 or 3. Oh Lord, she was 2 or 3. And so that's what they got going on. And then Ronnie, the third sister, got this girlfriend that don't think she really gay. She just like women sometimes, part time, and she got a boyfriend. Her boyfriend is crazy, like a psycho killer. Ronnie was a sucker. Ronnie, oh no, she gave very. How old was Ronnie? She just seemed childish to me. She had a big heart. She had a good heart, but I don't know. I just felt like she needed to grow up some. Which she was a sucker for love. She was a sucker for Toy, and I think she was trying to turn Toy out. Do y'all think that? Like, she cared for Toy, she liked her, but I think she wanted to make her, like, be true to who you are, come out the closet, you know? And so I think that's why she was so invested in her, because she was trying to turn her out. So she got this girl, Toy, that she messed with. Okay, she was young, 22. So she got this girl, Toy, that she messed with. Toy got a boyfriend. The boyfriend be beating her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And she runs to Ronnie every single time. You think Toy turned Toy turned Ronnie out. So she getting beat up. So she run to Ronnie every time the dude do her wrong, but then she'll turn around and leave Ronnie for the dude. And so she can't be out, with her or nothing like that. It's like their relationship is a secret. And her family is telling Ronnie, like, leave her alone. She's not worth it, right? So that's her story and what she got going on. The dude always threatening the girl, like, if I ever see you with that, D bitch, I'm going off y'all. I'm doing the neck motion. He going off them or whatever. So that's what Ronnie got going on, right? So fast forward a little bit more, and Val and Braxton are going to an event. Let's say it's like a city event, like the mayor's ball or something like that, where you got a lot of community members and high powered people in the community together, right? And what is his name? Braxton is there. He thinking he the shit because he at this community event with all these big wigs in the city and everything. And who shows up to this event right alongside them, somebody that he think he's better than Lonzo. Because again, Lonzo is like the big man in the drug game. And drugs and politics go hand in hand. Don't ask me how I know. I watch a lot of TV. I'm just but he's there because the politicians in there. And they, mix and mingle with each other. So Lonzo is there. Lonzo has legitimate businesses as well. Like he buy property and he do that. Y'all know how it go. So he is there and Val and Braxton is there. So he see her and he's like, "Hey Val, what you doing here?" They talk or whatever. So you see the chemistry between the two of them. Just like Trent and Lonzo was like, "Damn, Val fine, da 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 da." Vicky and Val was like, "Lonzo look good in a motherfucker. He buff, he be working out, he that nigga." So he looked good too. So, they talking to each other. The chemistry is good between them. They kind of catching up for old time's sake and all this and that. And you could tell she's very bored there. So he kind of talked to her. They standing at the bar, they mixing and mingling. And of course, then her come sticking the bud, sticking the ass. He come. Braxton over there, like, "Oh, what are you doing here? Like, like, how did you get invited? Boy, sit your ass down somewhere." So he come over there. He kind of peeped that they got a little thing going on. They got a little chemistry going on and stuff. So of course he like, "Val, you need to come with me." So at the end of the night of this event, Val, and there's some stuff that happened here or whatever that kind of lead you to believe that some stuff gonna go down. You gotta read the book if you want to know every single thing. But at the end of the night, Val loses her earring, right? And she's looking everywhere for this earring. She can't leave without this earring because it means something to her. Of course, Braxton is acting like an asshole. He's not trying to help her find the earring. And he told her, "If you don't bring your ass on, I'm gonna leave you." This is her husband. Okay. This is her husband. And he said, "If you don't bring your ass on, I'm gonna leave you right here." And she was like, he would never do that. So she ain't tripping off him. So she looking for her earring, looking for her earring. And finally, one of the bus boys find the earring. So she found her earring. So she's like, "All right, I can leave now." She go outside to leave. And that man left her. Kicked his ass. So he left her, but it was a good thing that he left. It was a good thing that he left. But God worked in mysterious ways. He made her lose that earring so she'd get her back broken out. So, of course, remember, Lonzo was there. They had their conversation and stuff. So it was gone. So, she like on the phone with him. She was like, "I know you ain't left me." He was like, "Yes, I did." Trash. Okay. He was like, "Yes, I did." He was like, "I'll send the car back for you once the car dropped me off at home." Are you fucking kidding me? So she on the phone, she getting all irate, being loud. There's people around. Remember, this is a big wig event and everything. And up walks Alonzo. And he took the phone from her and hung up. Like, "You're not gonna be acting like this out here in front of all these people or whatever." He was like, "I got you." And so he got her or whatever. He was like, "You want me to take you home?" And she was like, "No, I don't want to go home right now because I don't feel like dealing with him because he ain't gonna want to do nothing but argue." And he was like, "All right." And I think they went to go eat, maybe. And then they went to his house. Now, why? Why did they do that? Why would he take that woman to his house? Val, friend from back in the day that he's always wanted. It's like, what's we be doing in these books, y'all? You take this woman back to your house. So he take her back to the house as a friend. She's vulnerable and upset. Her husband just left her at this event. He has her looking stupid and all this stuff, right? So the husband left her at the event. Alonzo comes in, he saves the day. Long story short, baby. Now, let me back it up just a little bit. So Braxton is not only getting on her last fucking nerve, always nagging and all of that, he is not giving her none. And I felt so bad for her when she was trying to get with him that day. He's like, baby, I gotta go. I cannot deal with you right now. Was like, she was trying so hard. I was like, oh, hell no. So fast forward back up to her and Alonzo in his house that he shares with his girlfriend and his son. Okay. So they in this house and Val is vulnerable, but she want him and he want her. And guess what? They have each other all night long. Now, mind you, she ain't been getting none. Baby Lonzo came in there. He broke her off. Baby Braxton have never even gone down on her. He has never even smelled her vagina. Baby Lonzo was like, let me take care of that. He was like, you mean to tell me that nigga ain't doing the lick lick? Okay. Baby, he made up for it. Now, what he thinking? In his house, in his bed, his girlfriend shirt. He done took Val to the bedroom, knocking her back for the whole night, right? So they get up in the morning and it ain't like, oh my God, I need to go. They like having a conversation. They like in love, laying around and shit. Right? They kissing, hugging. All this and that, right? So they ain't even got no remorse. They ain't even feeling bad. Cause y'all imagine, y'all know how her husband was with them. He was a prick. I'm gonna say it just like that. Baby, he a prick. The baby mama had went out of town. That's why she wasn't there that night. He knew she wasn't gonna be there that night. That's why he took her to that house. He was happy that Braxton left her ass. So, but I was so happy that she stayed out all night. Like, you gonna leave me? You gonna leave me at an event? Right, I got you. You won't see me till the next day. So I was happy about that. But she laid up in this woman's house all night, getting her back broke up. They about to have breakfast in bed and shit. But little do they know, baby mama finna come home early from her trip to Atlantic City. Okay. So her she come through the door. So while they sitting up here loving and touching and hugging on each other like they're a long lost couple, her she coming through the door. So Val had to go hide in the closet with some clothes on. So she had to go. Could y'all imagine? Now Val, this is Val. You know, remember she had her nose up in the earth. She missed a ditty. Okay? This motherfucker gotta go hide in the closet. Cause this girl that came home to her house to her man. Okay? So she gotta go hide in this other room, right? So Quisha is telling him all about, what happened out of town, da da da. So then they heard something fall and break in the other room. So then she like, let me go see what this is. I know ain't nobody trying to break in our house. No, it's Val. So they go in the other room and the window is open, y'all. This motherfucker they had to jump off. Listen, Aaron, he had climbing up the walls the night before. Now she got to climb up. So now she got to climb out the window. So she didn't climb out the window. This is the funniest fucking thing. I love Takerra Allen. So she had to climb out the window. Mind you, she didn't have no clothes. I remember I told y'all they loving and rubbing and touching on each other, reminiscing about the night before. So she never got up and put no clothes on. So when she went to go hide, she don't have no clothes on. So when she jumped out the window, she didn't have that or get her ass whooped. She didn't have no clothes on. So she done hopped out the window, right? She had to put some newspapers on around her. So she walking around this neighborhood. And now this is a nice neighborhood, y'all. They got money. So they live in a nice neighborhood. Her ass is walking around with a newspaper on her body and no clothes on. So she walk around the police and pull her over, treating her like she a crackhead. Man, what are you doing walking around naked with newspapers on? She like, so I think she was a lawyer. She was like, she had to go, excuse me, into victim mode. And she was like, somebody just stole my clothes. They was like, get your ass in this car. So that's how she ended up back home, I guess, baby. She had to get back home with no clothes on. So that was so funny. So now her and Lonzo then opened up this can of worms. So now this her drama. Now she know Quisha, okay? And she know Lonzo girlfriend. Quisha be right there with Lonzo when he come over for the family functions and stuff like that. So you just slept with this girl, man. Now you gotta look up in her face. Right? And that's Vicky friend kind of, I guess you would say. Cause they mess with, they men is friends. So that's just messy. Boom. So, oh my God, y'all, it is 8:15. Baby, I just be talking, Lord. So, but we gonna get through it. So, boom. So now they having like a love affair. Val and Lonzo. So it ain't like it stopped there. It didn't stop there. They knocking, rocking the boots. Okay, sneaking off, getting a boogie on. And Val is in heaven, baby, because she ain't had her boots knocked like this. Not by a thug boss ass nigga. She ain't had her body rocked by nobody like Lonzo. So she in heaven. She like, fuck Braxton. With your tight wide ass. So she like, forget Braxton, baby. Her head is in the cloud. So Vicky finds out about this, and Vicky is not pleased. Vicky is like, you wrong. Because Vicky know her man have cheated on her before. And so she was like, you the other woman. And they be going off on each other because she called Val a pill popper or something, a pill head, go do them pills or something. So they got like that type of relationship. They are hit below the belt if they need to. So Vicky is not happy with this relationship, right? So, Trent got his stuff going on with Gianna. So Gianna, his baby mama of the little boy of the mob family, she want him. She is in love with him. She's older than him. She's in her 30s. He's in his 20s. So she's in love with him. He's telling her, I love my wife. I want to be with my wife. I love my son, but he was a mistake. Right. And my wife and my daughters come before anybody, which was messed up. And that's why I'm saying, like, I kind of like liked him in the first time I read this, but this time I was not feeling it because nobody told you to make this little baby. Nobody told you to have this little boy. He deserved your time and attention too, just like them little girls. Don't do him like that, even though he's bad, even though he's bad and cuss his mama out all the time. But Gianna got on my last nerve. So Gianna started trying to figure out who Vicky was and went up to her bakery. Vicky owned a bakery. She went up to the bakery. They see each other. It's just a lot of stuff or whatever, right? So boom. So that's what they got going on. Gianna want him, but she knows she can't have him because she can't be messing with no black man. And he don't want her. Right? That was a mistake. It happened when him and Vicky wasn't together. So boom. So shit started to hit the fan at this point, y'all. We know everything, what everybody got going on. So Trent ends up getting set up and he was going to make a drop one night. His mama had deserved to get cussed out. Who mama? Oh, the mama. Gianna, no, she did not deserve to get cussed out by her Dominique. So Trent ended up catching the case. He got set up by none other than Duncan. I don't even know what to call him. I'm getting mad just thinking about him. But Duncan set Trent up and Trent ended up catching the case, right? So Trent caught a case at his hearing or his trial or whatever. I don't think it didn't go to trial, but at his hearing, Gianna is there. And Vicky see her and she was like, that girl looked familiar. She looked familiar. She looked like the girl who came into my bakery that one day. So then she started snooping. And long story short, she ended up finding out who Gianna is. And she ends up going to that girl house, which I thought was so crazy, but it was very Vicky. She ended up going to that girl house and finding out that that little boy was Trent. And it was so good because he came outside and he was like, "Are you from my school?" Because he had got into a fight at school. It's not funny, y'all. But yeah, he was like, "You from my school?" And she was like, "No, I'm not from your school." And she looked down at him and he looked just like Trent. Could y'all imagine your husband seeing a child? Now they got three girls, and y'all know how people feel about, men and sons and stuff like that. To look in this little boy's face and to see your husband, baby, she did exactly what needed to be done. She beat the brakes off John. She beat her ass. And so, oh my God, y'all, something else real funny happened. So some girl like Trent, the girl that worked at the barbershop that he went to, like Trent, and she asked him to get us a pizza one day. Now this is me going off on a tangent. Don't worry about it. She asked him to go get us a pizza one day. So then Vicky ended up getting wind of it. Why did Vicky go and put pizza all over this girl car? That's the type of shit she used to have going on. Her and Val just being messy. But she was with the shit when it came to Trent. So she ended up beating Gianna up. And a whole bunch of stuff ended up transpiring from there. She left Trent. She left his ass. And she was like, that was so heartbreaking. And he want to throw his jewelry all out in the street. Boy, nobody give a fuck about that. Keep that jewelry and all that. You got a whole baby over here. How was that little boy? Like 5, 6, 7? Which he didn't spend no time for real with the little boy. So it wasn't like he was raising them or nothing like that. But you got a whole baby over her, boy, by deuces or whatever. So that was like really, that was really stressful for her. And that was like the beginning of the end for her. Right. So then little Mr. Lonzo over here, he falling in love with Val. Meanwhile, Quisha don't know what the fuck is going on. She thinking they still in the lap of luxury and love. But he falling in love with Val ass over here. So then he decides that he want to leave. What was hurt this time by that? Because he was like her everything. Quisha, he was like her everything. And you really about to leave me? Because she finally giving you the fucking time of day? Are you kidding me? I was so mad at him for that this time. Not saying that he should have stayed with her, but he flipped on her. Like it was no loyalty there. He was like, "All right, I'm out. I don't want to be with you no more." And she was just so distraught. She was like, "You gonna leave me and your son for somebody else? Really?" So he ended up wanting to be with Val, and he got with Val. What do y'all think about that? Should he have chose his happiness? Let's go there because maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong lens. He felt like he was going to be happy with Val. So should he have been happy with Val and left Quisha alone, or did his loyalty lie with her? Right? So he didn't left them, went on with Val or whatever. Trent then got I feel bad for her because even though she didn't have no ambition, she wasn't like a bad girl. She was a little country. But my whole thing is you ain't had no problem with all this time. Now all of a sudden you got a problem with everything I do. Right? So boom, choose his happy. You think he should have chose his happy. So you was happy for him and Val that they got together with their cheating asses. Okay, so boom. So Trent and Vicky not together. Lonzo and Val is together. He then left Quisha alone. Ronnie then left Toy alone. He did do her dirty. So Toy did something. She left Ronnie for the last time, and she was like, I'm done with you. You keep leaving me for this man. This man is not good for you. But if you want to be with him, I'm gonna let you have that. So then Ronnie, like, I'm gonna go out, start living my best life. So she goes out, and I love this part of the story, y'all. She went out one night and she met the love of her life. I was so happy for her. She met this girl at the gay club. They really clicked, start, kissing and just was like really feeling each other. And I felt like this was like something that she really needed. And I'm so glad that she got to experience that, even if it was short lived. I was really happy for her that she got a chance to experience that. Right. So Ronnie goes out one night and she meet this girl while she in bliss and happy and kissing and, really feeling this girl and everything. Here come Toy. He beat me up. What was that man? Steele. I think his name was Steele. He beat me up and I just need to get away. He just went to the store real quick and I need you to come help me get me out or whatever. And she had her nephew with her. He was like, he beating the baby up. So Ronnie didn't want to get involved, but she was like, since it's a baby involved, I'm gonna bring you some money so that you and your nephew can get out of there. But don't call me no more. This is it. I'm done with this. I'm gonna let you have that, right? So Ronnie goes over here to give this girl this money, and the dude is there. Toy then set Ronnie up, y'all. And I'm not even finna tell y'all. I'm not even finna tell y'all how it happened. Y'all gotta read the book. But Takerra Allen, when I think about it, she might be a little sick because that beating was very graphic. I can't believe I had to read that. I didn't read it the second time. I didn't read it the second time, but it was very graphic. And he beat her to death. Did he shoot her? I think he just beat her to death. Yes. So her trying to be a good person and take this money over there for Toy and her nephew so that they can get away from this situation, which the nephew was never there, I don't think. And he ended up taking her life. Right. So one of the questions that Takerra Allen asks in the book in reference to this is, do we think that Toy needs to pay for what she did? Of course. Yes. Yes, she does. Because Steele got his from Trent and Lonzo, because it was like Ronnie was their family. They grew up together. They was close, with each other and everything. So they was like, we gonna avenge her death. Right? They was some street dudes. So they like, we gonna avenge her death. So he got his, but Toy, she need to get hers too for doing her like that. So now their sister has passed away. One of the sisters has passed away. And so that was very sad. And this was like the beginning of the end of just everything just really spiraling out of control. So Ronnie ended up passing away. Rest in peace, Ronnie. Takerra Allen really killed some people, okay? So that happened. So Trent had got a case. He beat it, right? Vicky had left him, but then they had made up and they was finna get back together because she loved her man. She was like, I'm just gonna have to accept your son because I love you and I feel like I can't live without you. So he was like, bet. He had started messing with Gianna again and was sleeping with her, risking his whole life to do that since Vicky had left him. People be crazy. This type of stuff be happening in real life, yeah. So he didn't risk his life going back over there, messing with this girl in the house with her and his son. Vicky ended up taking him back. Well, when Vicky was taking him back, he was supposed to come back home. He never came back home. He never came back. So she was like, did he change his mind? Did he not want to be back with me? He wanted to be with her. Do y'all think Vicky took him back so Gianna wouldn't get him? Or do y'all think she just really loves him and was like, this my man, I'm gonna forgive him. We'll get through this type of thing. So Trent never came back home. And it has been weeks. He never came back. She ain't heard from him. Nothing. Okay, it's been weeks. Meanwhile, it's a case. Duncan, remember he told on Trent, he had set Trent up, but Trent got out. So he was working with the police, but now he on the run because Trent didn't beat his case. So he like, I know they coming to get my ass. So he on the run now. They got him on all kind of stuff: child pornography, child essay, child everything, or whatever. And so that's how they was getting him caught up, right? So the police being a dirty, they are, some of them, they are using his child pornography, his child stuff to try to get this drug, Trent and Lonzo, get them locked up, right? So they're using him as the informant. Well, the informant then ran out. What he was like, the police like, okay, since he want to play and he want to run off on us and he not gonna give us our evidence, we gonna tell on him because they have a video of him and the little girl, Trent and Vicky's daughter. He has a video that he's recorded of him saying her, right? And so poor Vicky. So Trent is not coming home. Trent ain't been home in 2 weeks, right? She's stressing about that. She kind of think he on some bullshit, but then again, she like, no, this ain't like him. Something is wrong, right? So then here come the police with this freaking video. I thought that was so harsh and so like they could have eased that. They just gave her the phone and said, watch this video. They didn't give her no warning. They didn't give her nothing. They just said, watch this video. I was pissed. So she had to watch this video. She was blindsided by this video of her daughter being violated to the worst degree. And the cops just sitting there watching her watch this video. They should have lost their badges for that. So boom. So that happened. So Vicky is already, no warning, Jennifer. So Vicky is already sad about Trent. So now she got this on her now because she like feeling like a bad mother. She was like, how did I let this happen? I knew that it was something off about him. I knew that he wasn't a good person, but because my husband said he was cool, I invited him into our lives, into our family, all this and that. And now she's feeling like, oh my God, I did this to my child by allowing this man to be in our space, right? So she got Trent gone. Now she dealing with this. She want Duncan off as she should, right? So she's dealing with that as well. So then fast forward, she hasn't heard from Trent. Nobody has. Lonzo is looking for him. Lonzo like, it's something got to be wrong too because he wouldn't just not communicate with me, right? So then finally, Vicky get a phone call saying, you can stop looking for your husband. He is no longer here. I was like, Vicky, oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine. It was like thing after thing after thing after thing that just kept happening to her. I was just felt so freaking bad for her. And so that happened. So she know that her husband is now no longer with us. Okay, did anybody else feel like Trent was still alive at this point? Or did you feel like he was gone? Right? I think any book that I read where somebody like him, like a main character or something, I always be feeling like they still alive. Or I be hoping that they be still alive. Something, right? So she's dealing with her husband being passed away. She's dealing with the daughter being essayed, all that. And so she's literally like losing her mind. Like she is going through it. I could not imagine, right? So that happens, and then Vicky ends up shooting herself in the head. I'm not crying, y'all. My nose itching, but I was like, damn. Oh my God. A part of me felt like he was still alive. You did. So she shot herself, yeah, and ended up going to the hospital or whatever. She did survive, but she ended up losing um her right side, like the feeling on her right side. She was like paralyzed on her right side. I know Jennifer girl, so she was like paralyzed on her right side and everything. And so she wouldn't talk. She couldn't talk. Her mama ended up having to take care of her. Val ended. Oh, okay. So then, it was a lot going on. Everybody is stressed out and going through. So Val and Lonzo had got together. They had moved in together. And then Val ended up going off on his son and calling him stupid, told him to shut up or something because he asked her, was she a baby killer? Because his mama told her that. Now, that was some messed up stuff. But when you do stuff like that dirty, what did you expect? Did you think she was gonna be sitting over there talking about you like you was a good person? No, she probably was over there letting your ass have it. And the son heard her and he was like, are you a baby killer or whatever? And she ended up going off on him. So now they was kind of at odds and everything. Then Ronnie passed away and all of that. So then Lonzo and Val ended up breaking up because she was like, you need to go back to your family. And she did it in a very mean, cruel, kind of like, we know you on some drugs the way you acting. But she did it in a kind of cruel way. And so he ended up going back with his family, the son and Quisha. So they estranged. And then once she got the call about Trent, they ended up having a funeral for him. Now, this broke me down. Everything out throughout this book, everything I'm talking about, it was a lot of sad stuff that happened, all this and that, right? So do y'all remember that Triana did not talk, right? It's been months and a lot of time have passed. But Vicky have been staying with her mother, so she's been away from her children because Val is taking care of the kids or whatever. And she was a good mother, so her kids miss her, but she's not herself. She's not talking. She can't use her right side. None of that, right? So when they had the funeral for Trent, they go to the funeral. The funeral is over. And the mom is taking Berna. Berna is the mom. She's taking the girls with her. And then, no, she's taking Vicky with her. And then the girls are riding with Val. And they like, we want our mama. Like, basically, we want our mama back. And they was like, she not feeling good. I'm finna take her to the house, whatever. Why did the little girl Triana call her mama? She was like, Mama. Oh my God, girl. When I tell y'all, when I read this book the first time, this broke me down so bad. I had to freaking put the book down. This baby was mute. She wanted her mama so bad, she started talking. That broke me down. Okay, all the way down, but it was so good. Like I cried so hard, y'all. It was kind of like, oh my God. So that happened. So Trent is gone. Lonzo and Vicky not together. Ronnie has passed away at the end of the book. But then at the very end of the book, why is Trent still alive with Gianna? It's not funny. So what happened was the uncle ended up okay. So Trent had went back to Gianna. Y'all know when Vicky had put him out. So then Vicky wanted him back. So then he was going back home. And so that meant he was leaving Gianna. And she was heartbroken because she was like, damn, I just got you back. I just got you. So not you leaving me again. So she was so upset. Right. So she was so upset that he was leaving her going back to Vicky that she ended up telling her uncle that he was her son's father. Right. And so I can't remember exactly how the conversation went, but the uncle was like, the only way you gonna live is if you marry my niece and go away with us to Italy and be a family with her. So that's where Trent is at the end of book one. He's with Gianna and his son and all that. The uncle did beat their ass till they almost died. And that was his punishment for messing with that girl. He had to leave his family. So he is actually not really dead, y'all. And so that gets us to the end of book one, right? And then it's a power of the V2, which we're not gonna talk about that. A lot of stuff. One of the best things about book two was when Trent came back. And again, like when I read it the first time, it was like the most romantic thing in the world. But now thinking about on it, boy, you should have just let them kill your ass. Because you got me over here shooting myself in the goddamn head. And you not even dead. Hold the fuck on. Which they told him that Vicky had passed away. So he thought that she was dead. He didn't know that she was still alive. It was a lot of shit, y'all. And book two, it'd be a lot going on. Yes, girl. He like planned that whole thing for her, and he had them take her to the beach, and it was just like all this stuff. Oh my gosh, it was just so romantic. And I was just like, I was crying on that too when he came back. But then the more I think about it, I be like, that was some bullshit. Like for real, that was some bullshit. You heard me? So that is the end of Power to Be. The book is really good. Y'all should read it if you haven't read it. Take heed to the warnings because the Takerra Allen do not play. She get real graphic. And I guess she be in her body when she be writing certain things. But yeah, it's a good book. It's a lot of twists and turns. It's a lot of drama. It's a lot of good sex because Lonzo was getting it in, and Vicky and Trim was getting it in too. And so, and it bring awareness to things that happen, to children, and I think that's why she said she did it. She had some questions at the end, but I'm gonna say I think Lonzo was wrong and it kind of took away from their love story for me this second time around. The first time I read it, I was all for it. I was like, yes, get it. I'm like, yeah, he chose his happiness. He had been wanting Val. They seemed good together, seemed like a good couple together and everything. But he just went about that kind of like the wrong way. Oh, and in book two, oh my gosh, we should get sick, y'all. Yes, that was good. Once one of my other favorite parts was Val had that coworker who kissed her and came up to the office. Yes. Oh, yes. 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 That was the one. Yes. I had almost forgot about that. Yes. And then um when he had came home there one time from out of town and she played like the maid and stuff. Yeah, that's a good relationship. Now that you say that. And she like played the maid. And at first I was like, oh my God, he finna cheat on her. But then it was like, that was cool too. So yeah, they had a good relationship. It all worked out in the end. Everybody kind of got their happily ever after except for Ronnie. Rest in peace, Ronnie. But outside of that, Vicky and Trent ended up being okay. Val and Lonzo end up being okay. So read books one and two if you have not read them because they are really good. If you know Takerra Allen pen game, you know her pen game, you know she gonna bring it every single time. So that's it, y'all. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next week. Right now, I am reading Broken Clock, y'all. I had started reading it years ago, and then I stopped, and then I just started back reading it again. So tell me, have y'all read that? What y'all think about it? It is by Broken Clocks. It's by Danielle Allen, I want to say. And y'all gotta give me some good books. Y'all know the type of books that I like to read. Oh, Love Belvin. Yeah, it's by Danielle Allen. Um, Love Belvin has a new book coming out at the end of this month, so we will definitely be talking about that. I know, and see, that's why I had stopped reading it because everybody was talking about how it was gonna have me crying and all that. I was like, oh Lord, I don't know if I can take that right now. So that's why I had stopped. But the second part of Love Belvin's book is coming out at the end of this month. So we'll be talking about that. All I know is he better make it right with her, because at the end of that last book, he had pissed me off. And then let's just pray about parachutes, y'all. People be asking me, um, inevitable love is the complicated comes out. Part two comes out on March 31st by Love Belvin. And then we just gonna pray about parachutes. I'll be trying not to think about it. In the meantime, I think I read In the Meantime. Who is that by? And so hopefully we'll have that. We got Gold coming out in the fall and all that good stuff. I am hooked on that. You know what? I'm going to read Quazine. I'm gonna read him, and I think that's what we're gonna talk about next week. So if y'all have not read that, you want Tali and Ben back together. I want them back together too, girl. Oh my God. But I'm scared. See, like I'm excited for parachutes to come out, but then again, I'm not, because I'm not ready for it to end. So I'm kind of glad she taking her time, even though I want to read it. I'm kind of glad she's taking her time, because I'm not ready for the story to end. And then I'm kind of scared of how the story is going to end. Like, I'm probably gonna have to like take some time, like stuff like that. Okay, yes. So that's what I think we're gonna talk about next week, y'all. I'm gonna read that. I am. I'm gonna start it. I'm finna start it, and we're gonna talk about that next week. So y'all be ready for that. Y'all be ready for that. So that's my time, y'all, and I appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. My bad. Appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. And I'll see y'all next week. So it's the Black Girl Book Club Podcast. The Black Girl Book Club Podcast. Hey, bye, y'all.